On today's episode of Unbinged, we're going to be talking about Alien Earth Episode 6. We're going to be breaking down what's Kirsch's plan. Is he a saboteur or just a bystander? And what's going to happen? What are the consequences of both Nibs and the eyeball monster being there in the compound? We're going to be answering all the biggest questions and giving you our theories on an all-new episode of Unbinged starting now. Welcome into Unbinged, where we're just a bunch of onions asking how to take care of a star. I'm your host, Alfredo Brown. Joined as always, I've got Jagger May, Samantha Holt, Matt Kaufhammer. Guys, this is going to be a crazy episode to talk about. We have a lot of questions. This show is setting up so much. I want to get into the first biggest question we have, but before we do that, let's get the spoiler warning.
This is your one warning that we're going to spoil everything about Alien Earth. Someone dies at the end. I told you we'd spoil it.
All right, so the question that we asked right off the top here, what's Kirsch's plan? Is he a saboteur or a bystander? I think there's evidence towards both. The answer is probably just yes. Like, there's a moment here in the show where Morrow called him old toy. So he's probably feeling a little outdated, a little less important. I've been seeing the Tinkerbell comparison for him, that he's not as important to Peter Pan anymore, and so he gets jealous. But then he also has that statement where he talks about the scientific method is a method, not a suggestion box. So, Sam, what's Kirsch's plan here? Like, is he just trying to just watch it all burn and sit back?
It feels like he's just allowing it to watch. He's watching it on his iPad and just saying nothing about it in terms of how it's going down. It's just, well, that's chaotic. No, everything's fine over here. Pretty seems like he wants to just see how things go, and then maybe his plan is to save things at the end to show Prodigy how valuable he actually is in order to like allow it all to go to shit and be like, and this all went to shit, and by the way, I can fix it because I'm smarter than you, even though you keep telling me you're smarter than I am. So maybe his plan is to allow it to be chaotic, so he plans to fix it. But I feel like that plan's going to get foiled because things are going to shit very quickly.
That's a good theory. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I was about to say, is like, Sam, this is why you're the smart one here. Is
like, did I just ruin all of your theories?
No,
I really
just gave
like
me more
that.
context.
Yeah, because that, like, when we were deciding this, obviously, it's just like, what is his motive? Because it was pretty easy to see David's motive, where it was just pure curiosity, you know. And then even when we go all the way back to the original Alien, what was Bilbo? Bishop? No,
Ash. Ash was the first one.
Ash. Ash. Yeah, Ash was like, I'm a company man and I'm here to fucking observe and report. But Kirsch is just literally, you know, like you said, he's watching it on his iPad. He's basically Ice Cube in War of the Worlds, just like reacting to himself the whole fucking time.
And the order some Amazon.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's just like, is everything good? He's like, no, you know, you're good, boss. You go up there and play pilot, you know, like you'll deal with your little Peter Pan syndrome. And my question is like, man, if the facility goes down, what's Kirsch going to do for work? So I'm 100% bought into your theory that Kirsch is trying to prove his worth, and he's willing to risk every man, woman, and child to do that, quite literally. So
yeah, I think so.
Interesting. I hadn't considered that angle. The way I viewed that is he's very much a bystander. He's observing right now, and I felt it was more like almost like a Darwinian approach, where he is trying to see which of the hybrids are going to be strong enough to survive, and he's going to go forward at some point with the strongest hybrids as the next generation or new generation of, I don't know, guardians in the world. Like, he's already mentioned it several times throughout this episode, or not episode, but the show, that you're not human anymore. You're more than, you're better than. And so I think he is on that path of like, hey, we're gonna make the humans obsolete, and I'm gonna go forward with the best of the best. So that's why I felt like he was observing the chaos and letting it happen to see how these other hybrids will react. And maybe there is a savior angle where he's like, oh, look, see, me and the hybrids, we saved the day. Now give us everything we want.
I wonder if, go ahead, Alfredo, sorry.
I was going to say, to me, there's a little bit of like Dwight Schrute from The Office energy here, where he's like the assistant to the regional manager, but like he's not really like that like loved, or he feels like he's not being seen as important, and this is almost his way of saying, you know what, they're going to screw this up and then they're going to see how important I am. But like very similar to Dwight just wanting to take over Michael in the office and who's with him. And I almost feel like that's kind of it too. If like maybe there doesn't need to be Prodigy. So Koff, I think you're right. He's willing to just let Prodigy die, and then he and his remaining hybrids are doing whatever. Also, like, it may not seem very obvious. I think it's not all that crazy or out of the realm of possibility that he and Morrow actually don't hate each other and it's all just a show. And maybe they know each other. Like, we've already seen like corporate espionage. Like, I don't think it maybe just ends with that one character, that one engineer. Like, it could be beyond that.
And I think I do like that theory that you have, especially with Morrow and Kirsh being basically the opposite sides of the same coin, and just knowing how Noah Hawley writes. Basically every season of Fargo, and this isn't for me like disparaging or judging it, but a huge theme is like the number 2 man eventually gets tired of the head honcho, and they, like literally every season of Fargo that's it. And right now we just have Kirsh and Morrow, where Morrow's like, the person who employed me died, my daughter died, and then we got Kirsh here that has to deal with a literal child who calls him stupid all the time and puts his feet on the kitchen table.
Yeah.
Who hurt Noah Hawley?
Huh?
Bro, life.
Who hurt Noah Hawley, man?
He's the opposite of Tarantino, where like feet are like scary for him, you know, like when he puts them out there as like a horror device. He's just like, feet, put them socks on. You know?
Y'all, we
This person
really
had
had
a
to
toe
stop
monster.
Jag from throwing his feet up on the camera here because we don't do any free feet pics for the show.
Yeah, you got to
Not for
subscribe
free.
to our Patreon for that, bud.
That's right. We'll even make a Patreon.
I will not be.
Koff, what were
adding
you gonna
that.
say? No, don't say it.
I was
Hear
just gonna
about
say, speaking of the Boy Cavalier Utani standoff, I love afterwards when Morrow comes up and she's like, "What's the status report?" Blah blah blah, and he gives her a really succinct like analogy of what's going on, and you could see that moment. She's like, "No wonder Grandma liked you." Like she has now respect for him, and that's why she's letting him do like whatever espionage he's gonna do. So I really like that little moment. I thought that was a really, really cool way to show, again, Morrow being more competent than like everybody else around him, except for maybe Kirsh.
Yeah, because he straight up told her, he's like, "You're gonna have to use troops," and then like Morrow's who I aspire to be as like an employee, and I mean that like not that I want to like manipulate kids into like setting off aliens and shit.
I was about to say easy.
Yeah, but it's more that like I love
Dangerous
people.
waters.
I love being the solutions person and being the boss. I always tell people, don't come to me with problems, come with me with solutions. You know, like I'm not saying don't come to me if there's something wrong, but a lot of times people are like, this sucks, or I don't like this, you know,
just
and it's like, okay,
complaining.
well, what's your fucking solution? You know, that's what Morrow is. He's a guy like, I love a get shit done type dude where he's just like, all right, I told you homie was a fuck boy. I already got something in place. They got more security. Let's let them fuck themselves up. And then we go in and clean up afterwards. It's on an island. What's the worst that's going to happen for us? That's just like more. Every company needs a Morrow. Let's just be honest. We need our Captain Hook.
But I just love that
That's
little
exactly
bit of
who it is.
writing. Love that little bit of writing because it just strengthens that scene to me so much more.
Mm-hmm.
Is Kirsh now kind of taking the lead as like coolest character in the show? It's still Morrow.
It's tied. It's tied. I love them both.
Yeah, it's hard. There's that
Yeah, they're
elevator
both
scene
pretty
between
great.
the two of them was fucking incredible. I love that.
The
Do
verbal
you think-
sparring was just
Yes.
just chef's kiss, man.
No,
Do you
it's really
think
good.
Kirsch is programmed to be sassy, or did his ghost like develop that? Because like homie's just ready to
Sassy's
spit
such a
bars.
perfect word for him too.
Boy Cavalier's like, pump up the sassiness to 11. Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, like I wonder how much of it is actually programmed in. You're right, Jack. Like by Boy Cavalier and Prodigy. Of actually, I don't know. I feel like he would go the opposite way. Like he would want it
Make
to
him
be
docile.
this is a yes company. You do whatever. Like him having so much of a free spirit, free like thought feels very anti Boy Cavalier.
Yep.
Well, I want to talk about that a little bit in terms of emotions, because I feel like there's a lot of little things that we just talked about that to me bring up the question. They talked about emotions making you human, and Kirsch is saying, you know, why don't you ignore the fact that you're human and go into the machine part of yourselves because that's where you're getting stuff done. But we'd also talk about how Kirsch has a goal in different things. And at least with my theory, there has to be some level of emotion, but I think the one that can be developed off of intelligence is pride. And I feel like that's something that I can definitely see in Kirsch and his actions is like, because you know more, it's like it's a solving a proof level of like, well, this, because this, then this. And if someone's not listening to you, it's impeding you from solving the puzzle. And as a computer, you want to just solve the puzzle. So I do feel like there's a level of pride in Kirsch that's really powerful. And with Morrow, because obviously being human then turning cyborg, I feel like he's losing his humanity and he's becoming more machine and it's easier for him to let the emotions go by because he's so mission oriented and driven. And we're also watching Wendy lose some of her humanity and some of her decision making as well. But her brother being there is going to help, I think, prevent that 100% from happening because there is so much love still in there. And again, from a child's perspective.
Something
To
to keep it
continue with the
grounded.
math theme, to continue with the math theme, both of these characters are regressing to the mean, and the mean being humanity here, where we're seeing maybe Morrow being a little less human, and then like you said, Kirsch being a little more human, and that dichotomy is fairly interesting. And Sam, what you just described is what's difficult, having autism sometimes, because someone's just like, why are you arguing? Because I'm like, you're objectively wrong, there's no feelings in this. There's just like right now, emotion for a computer is like an error. Like right now there's like a 404 error going off on Kirsch's head, and he's just like, this is just fucking wrong, you dipshit, and like that's the only way you could recreate like emotion for a robot.
Love does not
what's
compute.
What's the 404? What's the error then in Kirsch's head? Like if there's, because we talk about this, like what's his goal? What's the motivation then? Like what is he seeing that's making him say like, no, this kind of needs to just
Boy
die?
Cavalier is moving with emotion.
Wendy talks about it when she's confronting Dame. She's like, maybe you're the problem. And Kirsch has already been there for months or years. He has known that Prodigy and humanity are the issue. And to solve that, maybe you got to wipe him out.
Let's just think about logistically how Boy Cavalier handled that information. Handled this situation. We'll start all the way back to the Maginot, where he sent a torpedo to his own fucking facility to kill thousands. And it's not just a torpedo. He has the most dangerous aliens known in the known universe, to use Dune terms, in the known universe. Species. He brought it in there with zero fucking thought or plan. He's just like, I just want to see what happens. And he's just stroking his own dick, essentially. And Kirsch is watching this little boy drink his own Kool-Aid, and he's just like, wow, we're no longer moving with intention, with purpose. Yeah. I mean,
was not sure what direction you were going there.
Where else could I have gone? You fucking
no, don't worry about it. Just move
don't
past
worry
it.
about it.
You guys are making it weird.
Yeah, no, it was yeah. There's so like I wonder then with Kirsch is like, where does he stop then? Like, is it cough, like kind of how you said it, like is it a anti-humanity thing? Like does this become a T-1000 thing? Like where like I actually wonder, how do we get to the point where we see in future alien movies that Earth is pretty much uninhabitable? And right now it sort of looks like the meme of like, if blah 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 happened, this would be our future. Like everything kind of looks very utopian. Is it the creatures? Is it the creatures being loose? Is it people like Kirsch and Morrow and all them turning? Like, what gets us there? Is it just time? Is it just us fucking ourselves up? It feels like that feels like the most probable answer.
Yeah,
it's inevitable.
Just humans being humans. Yep.
Good old humans. All right, we're gonna talk more about this because I want to get into what's going on with the T.Ocellus or Ocelus. Let's go there. Eyeball Jones. We're going to talk more about that. Yeah. But before we do that, I just want to remind everybody, we've got a really awesome giveaway that we're doing right now. We are giving away a $100 Amazon gift card to the viewer or listener with the best theory that they can put in the YouTube or Spotify comments. And then also, if you're listening over on Apple Podcasts, leave your best theory, comment, review, anything in an Apple Podcast review. So we've got 2 separate gift cards that we're giving away here. We're going to reveal the winners of this at the first episode of It Welcome to Derry on October 26th when we do that episode. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel here, because we've got a bunch of great TV shows we're talking about right now. You're obviously watching Alien Earth, but we also got Peacemaker. Task just started on HBO. I'm not watching it, but these 3 are, and they all say it is very, very good. Gen V starts next week. We got Landman, It Welcome to Derry. Tons of great content coming up. So make sure you're subscribed to Unbinged. Guys, Eyeball Jones, just cough. You said it before. It's just doing the Patrick. It's standing there menacingly. Like that's all it's doing, man. I kind of see it almost like an alien mirror of Kirsh, where it's just sitting there observing. I'm the smartest in the room. You all are a bunch of morons. But then every once in a while it interacts. It does the little like sheep banging its head on the glass to
It boops.
I don't was that to warn or to distract?
Clearly
That was the
distract.
start of a Rube Goldberg machine, dude. That was literally, he's been plotting the whole time. And this is, I want to go back and rewatch how, in like what order does he watch and observe? Because he's been looking at Isaac and Kirsch the whole time, knowing Kirsch is the alpha. And that Isaac is clearly the follower here, and just the way that Isaac moved and like broke protocol by giving the food like manually in there instead of like using like the classic prison tray thing that I've seen in almost any other fucking movie or prison facility ever. It was just quite obvious where he's just like, I'm just gonna startle him, I'm gonna get him, and then he did it, and then again. Yeah, it was straight up a Rube Goldberg machine, because it was just like, all right, I'm going to put a body in there.
Can you explain that for someone watching or listening that doesn't know that term?
A Rube Goldberg is
machine.
It's a machine that once you, like, dominoes, when you set up a domino and it goes off, it's the machines that do that, where I'm going to like hit this and it's going to put the ball that goes all the way around.
Oh, yeah.
Mousetrap,
the game. Overly complex to be a simple task.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, that's what a Rube Goldberg machine is. And that's what we had happen.
Mousetrap would have had me. I was good.
Oh, okay.
Right there.
Sorry.
I'm basically a hybrid child.
It's important to continue to learn, Alfredo. We're here to learn.
No, I don't do that. That's stupid.
Sam's like,
stop that at 20.
No. Mousetrap, 100%. So, Jag, I mean, you're saying this. It's just like it's him sitting there, sort of waiting for that moment. I almost wonder, he feels like the same thing we were talking about with Noah Hawley, where it's like, is he also just sort of second? Is he like the beta amongst this group because everyone's been so distracted by the xenomorph and how powerful and strong that is? But in reality, he's sort of the creature version of Kirsh and Morrow, and like all 3 of them are just like, I'm sick of this shit.
It's like we're on this island with the dumbest niggas on earth, and it's just it's like all these people need to die.
Wait, so the Eyeball Jones has an N-word pass?
Hey, he's not white. I'll tell you that much.
All right. All right. Established.
But you want to talk about menacing? You see how he was staring down the xenomorph, just like watching Wendy and the Xeno interacting. He's just like, you dum-dums. Like, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's because I go back to the scene, and they showed us this in the beginning where they give us those the mini recap in our opener there. I think his job is, I want to evolve. It's kind of like we were saying, it's the Brainiac thing where I want to learn. I want to go to the biggest alpha, because he immediately went from cat to try to jump to Nibs with like zero thought in there, and we already know that he has to sustain the body because we see the sheep having to eat the straw and shit, the hay. So he's looking at Wendy and the xenomorph as the next in the pecking order, but the xenomorph doesn't have an eye. So you're gonna go in through the tongue. I'm not sure, but homie's plotting. So that's all I know.
Eyeball boofing. Oh my god! But do you
see, Sam? I do learn.
See,
you go through a xenomorph butthole first.
God, to me, the eyeball monster, it kind of ties back to what happened in the last episode, where when it got into Shmuel, it immediately attacked the xenomorph. Like, it went aggressive against the xenomorph on the ship. So I wonder if this is now they are natural enemies, and this is him being like,
I feel like it's prison. It's prison rules. Just go and take out the biggest guy.
biggest guy. Fair enough. I just the aggression towards the xenomorph could be that, but it just feels like it's something more ingrained in Eyeball Jones's like DNA almost, and it's like a natural predator prey thing, where like a mongoose and a snake see each other and they're gonna go at it.
I didn't know that mongoose and snakes had beef like that, but
Bro, mongoose will
wait,
fuck
what?
up snakes. Yeah, mongooses fuck up
Absolutely.
snakes.
Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
know
Cobra,
that.
yeah.
I was more surprised that Jag didn't know that. You
I
knew
was
the
like, I
term-
got that reference.
Yeah, like I knew that. I didn't know boof. I'm sorry.
yeah, I know Boof, Rube Goldberg, some Welsh, but not into the animal kingdom, guys.
Ask
It's
me.
not
I know a lot of mongoose facts. Ask me anything.
Ask
How
me
many
others.
eyeballs does a mongoose have?
Two.
Look at the pairs.
Oh wow, that's
So,
Nailed it.
that is wildly correct.
Nailed
more
it.
tubular or no, I'm just kidding.
What I think is so funny here is that like we and even the Ocelus, I'm just gonna Eyeball Jones, whatever,
Eyeball Jones.
are looking at Wendy and being like, well, that's fucking stupid. Stop trying to give like attributes and emotions to the xenomorph. But then all of us as audiences just look at the eyeball and we're like, it's kind of cute. And I like it. And I wonder what it's thinking. You know, like we look at it like it's just a teen heartthrob. We're like, are they thinking about me?
Do you think he
What is
actually
it?
knows me? Do you think he knows his name? Do you think he knows his name?
Know that its name is Eileen.
Is it cute until you see the eighth eyeball like join the other grouping?
That was cool as hell.
Cuter.
No,
not
I'd be
gonna
like,
lie.
oh, it
That
did
was
the
a-
thing. It's like a cat blep, you know?
It's just like when they do make biscuits.
If my cat looked at me the way Eyeball Jones looks at everything here, I would not have this cat anymore.
Well, I feel sorry for Knox that is not unconditional love, Sam. So
It's not. It is conditional.
Sam's like, yeah, I'm not
Conditions
keeping
don't be
the
a
murder
fucking
cat.
creep. Yeah.
No. And get to my ripe old age of 37 with unconditional love. It's conditional.
Okay, so back to the eyeball. Like, what is its goal? Like, is it just to be the
Escape.
dominant, like the apex predator
Escape.
amongst the group?
Escape.
Escape? Like, is it just
Escape.
like keep killing, keep being the dominant apex predator? Like, is that it?
I'm pretty sure at the end of the episode when it's staring at the camera and it's like, God damn it, I got two of the doors open, but none of them were mine. That's how I. That's
I
how
think
I
it
read
learned because it literally it killed him, and he's just like, oh, there's milk in there, and that's what'll kill this thing. So it to me
There's
it was
milk.
just like counting its chess pieces and tools. So
It
like
almost felt
anyone
like it
who
learned that it had to eat the hay too.
I feel like it was more just like relaxing. It's like, all right, that one task is done, and I'm gonna go and eat some food. So
I got to
it's
keep
like
my sheep body alive.
check box,
Sheep shit.
undermine, and at least get one of these creatures out. Oh, I got two out. Check, check. Gonna go eat some hay.
Well, there's a lot of just crazy shit going on here at this compound at the Neverland research facility. But I think like the dumbest one, because there's a lot of dumb stuff going on in that creature room, and the creatures get actually, let's talk about that. The creature's getting out in the lab. Like, there's just so much corporate incompetence here. And like, I'm almost asking, is it going too far that everyone is so stupid? Like, that's just a thing that happens in Alien. But God, man, like everyone, hybrids, humans, doctor, non-doctor, like everyone is just making mistake after mistake after mistake. It feels very on the nose for this.
I think
Yeah.
it goes back to what we were saying about they are handcuffed by their own secrecy for what they're doing, to where they have to keep everything under wraps and they have to keep the skeleton crew. And then on top of that, Kirsh knew that, like, he's literally watching everything. So he's just like, I'm going to send Isaac in there, and he wants to make Daddy so proud that he's going to make a fucking mistake, you know, to where I think it's almost an over-reliance on one person that's the problem, more than just the incompetence there, you know, where like Kirsh
Okay.
is really that linchpin.
And speaking of, oh, sorry, Sam, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I feel like it goes back to, you say that, is this just an Alien movie franchise thing where people are just so dumb that mistakes start happening? I don't think it's necessarily the case. I think it's when you involve levels of technology into you drop that in of like, you have all of this science, you have all this, you begin relying on it. And it's the Jurassic Park thing where it's like, well, you actually, you over rely on these things and therefore it makes you dumber. It's the same thing where like, as our phones and our technology in this world keeps developing, you rely on it so heavily that you stop learning. So people are going to AI to learn these things. And that's kind of the undermining of losing your own humanity and your own autonomy, is you're relying on other things to do things for you.
I love that everything is a metaphor in this show. Like absolutely everything.
It's almost crazy. I think my biggest gripe is like, you're telling me you're a multi-trillion-dollar corporation, you have cameras everywhere, and you don't hire a single person to watch those fucking cameras? Like, what are you doing? What's the
Toy Story? They had the monkey at least,
yeah. Like you're telling, like it just.
I don't know what has me like more surprised, is you referencing that or the fact that you watched it.
I saw the first 3.
It's just crazy that the level of corporate incompetence is they don't even hire somebody to watch the cameras that they install other than Kirsh. And I guess it goes back to Sam's point of over reliance on technology, where they're like, oh, Kirsh will keep it safe. Yep. He'll make sure everything's running fine. And if he is not doing that, everything falls apart. So I guess that's the answer. One thing that I noticed. One thing that I noticed, and I don't know if you guys saw it, but it may be just a visual cue, but you know how in the first few episodes we saw that those guys in the hood spraying shit in the hallways? Well, this episode, if you look in the background, especially like when Arthur and Wendy are talking, you see like organic growth starting to pop up on the walls of the hallway. So I wonder if that's a visual metaphor for shit is about to hit the fan because they're not doing their due diligence to keep things from hitting the fan. And so that's a nifty little camera trick and way to visually show us the audience that things are starting to rot from the inside.
I like that.
I like that. I like that. And I think it also has a lot to do with that same, Kirsh being like, I'm not the shiny new toy anymore. And it's that like you have these shiny new creatures there in the lab that kind of everything, and the hybrids as well, that like everything kind of just becomes second, third, fourth on the list of tiers here, right? It's just really the hybrids and the creatures, and Cavalier's created this ecosystem, but doesn't really care enough to watch it. It's kind of like a little kid that's just like, I want a dog, but then they never actually take the dog out or feed the dog or anything, and they're like, it's shitting everywhere.
And Kirsh is the parent
that's like, yeah. Right. Kirsh is the parent that's sitting there like, great, now I got to clean up the shit. I got to feed it. I have to walk it. I have to train it. I have to do all this stuff. I get it. Like, I get why he's pissed.
Yeah. And he's basically the Google Home running that entire spot being treated like shit, That's
no.
Poor Cavalier's never said thank you.
Not once.
Not once.
In the lab here, the fly aliens, it's our first time seeing it. Sam, you were disappointed by how they looked.
I was disappointed.
What was your exact verbiage for how it looked?
You guys are gonna make me say it. No,
yes.
I think when we have this hive and you hear the sound and you're expecting, and the episode's called The Fly. So when it comes out, I'm expecting some sort of, what's amazing about insects too is there's an exoskeleton, which I think also makes them really creepy and that level. So I think I was hoping for a more angular and menacing type of fly, and we essentially just got a ball sack that's just like jizzing acid, and it's just not that exciting. Like, it's just like, oh well, that's disappointing. It's a bullfrog ball sack essentially is all that it is, and it's just, I wanted more than what we got from the creature design. I was a little disappointed. I might redraw it.
Yeah, Sam's like, I've got that at home. I don't need to see that.
Thank God I don't. But no.
Don't
make this the clip, please.
I think it's called.
Oh, she said the thing.
Damn
it. So okay, I mean, like, we see that the fly alien sort of, it's, the hybrids are not immune to the attraction of the fly alien going to it, but we've also kind of seen like the xenomorph is willing to attack the hybrids as well. Does the fly now kind of become the biggest threat there in that lab? Or it's still, I mean, obviously let's remove eyeball from the equation here. Is that the biggest threat now, the fly?
No, it's
Well,
the xenomorph still.
I think still the xenomorph. There's multiple flies, which is definitely a thing. And when you go back to how they were feeding all of these different creatures, what they were feeding these flies is technology. So this is definitely the biggest threat to the synthetics in terms of how it's going to be digesting others. They didn't give it a blood or organic matter to feed it, unlike, the giant flower we have yet to unbox. So that's
Clip
getting a
Barton.
giant. Yes, Clip Barton. That's getting fed a giant bucket of blood and guts. So that's definitely going to be menacing to any organic matter. But these flies are definitely a big, big threat to the synthetics.
Which alien do we want to kill, Boy Cavalier?
The flower.
All of them.
The
All
eye.
5. Team up. I want the team
Just
up.
a big
haven't
Captain
seen the
Planet team up
flower.
with our powers
Yeah,
combined.
we haven't seen the flower do like a major kill, and we've had very interesting major kills from the different creatures. So I feel like they're saving the best for last, and I feel like that's going to be a really epic one.
Oh. Somebody's gonna be like near the Clip Barton, and it's gonna like snag it from behind, like and pull it in. We're gonna see it do some sort of surprise, like Deep Blue Sea style surprise kill.
Yeah, and it's gonna open. Like we know it's gonna open up, and we know
Oh,
it's
yeah.
gonna be. We know what it's
Fucking
gonna look
horrifying. It's gonna be horrifying.
Yeah.
Majora, Minora.
Like. Yeah.
Oh no!
Come on, Sam.
Lot
You're
of
the one who knew the
genitalia
fucking art.
reference in
You knew the
today's
reference.
show.
You're the one who told me about it.
You got me to say so many other things. I cannot say that.
This is
Okay.
Georgia O'Keeffe's like nightmare creature. Oh boy.
It's going to be a Georgia O'Keeffe flower. We all know that.
Thank you.
All right, so we've talked a lot about how there's just been some incredible incompetence there in the lab, in the facility itself. But I think one of the biggest things that we saw, which I think will be equally responsible for the undoing of Prodigy, is not just the creatures, but the consequences of Nibs getting her memory wiped, and then how fast that got restored by Wendy just being like, yeah, you don't remember these things? Like, it just happened yesterday. You were just saying you were pregnant. Like, Sam, I think you kind of nailed this, because it almost hand waves everything away. Is just the reliance on technology and the hubris that this company and the people have, where they're just like, we don't need standard practices or operating procedures. Everything will be fine. And then immediately they do something and it just goes fucking wrong.
Yeah. There's only so many times you can factory reset things, even going back to like your computer, your phone, before you're like, okay, you need a new one because you broke it with how many resets you did to wipe the memory. There's only so many things. And this being consciousness in terms of in a person and rewinding that's not going to be a very quick solve, especially because they didn't do the due diligence of keeping her separated from everyone and then creating another story for even just telling all of this, that all of the hybrid kids. Nibs just went through something and we had to do some things, and we be gentle with her. She's still healing. Like there could have been things they said to them before they reintroduced them to each other. And again, I think it just goes into like, well, it is the hubris of like, we'll just reset her and everything will be fine. We're not going to make the immediate assumption they're going to communicate and solve for X in terms of what information's missing from Nib's brain.
Literally, like she was waiting there right when you woke up. Why when Nibs woke up? She's like, "Hey, you remember when you said you were pregnant?" It's just like it's like the first.
You still
Wow.
crazy? Are you still crazy? Are you normal now? Yeah. Like,
Are you better now?
What
Because
the
you
hell?
went weird.
Yeah, exactly.
That was. What was Dame Sylvia doing during that point? It's like she did the procedure. She put her in her little charging thing, and then she's just like, "Well, I'm gonna go get some tea, and then just hope things work out."
Couldn't have sent an email to him. Their robot sent him an email. It says like,
Yeah.
"Don't talk to Nibs about this week." There are bad ways they could have been better. Let's put it this way: they did the worst thing they should have done, which is nothing. But they could have even done nothing better. You know, they could have just said, "Hey, just like don't tell Nibs about this week."
Keep her quarantined. Keep her quarantined till you figure out she's fine or not. Like right there, letting her interact with the other hybrids was a huge mistake. Just because even if you assume that the data erasure was fine, you still don't know how she's going to react coming out of that like recharge sleep. So you really want her interacting with your other billion-dollar toys or projects, and hopefully she doesn't break them by accident. So
You guys
just
catch
again,
that-
incompetence.
You guys catch that Nibs is like kind of like tweaking out in terms of like information's processing, and you're watching your computer like fail as she's like trying to like process it.
Remember?
That's-
Yeah.
She's going through a little child robot hangover right now. Like she's waking up the next day her body's not right, and everyone's like, "You remember what you did yesterday? Shit was crazy."
Usually
just
good
So
for
is this
sex
a
just
poses.
is this
leans
a
into-
metaphor for being roofied? Like, is
That's
that
what
what they're going
yeah,
for?
Yeah, it leads into
Yeah.
the sexual assault angle of everything that Alien is. It's I wouldn't say it's pretty fucking blatant, man. It's like the language that they use that like this is a yes place, you know, we're not a no place. It's just super creepy language that if it was anything other than robots that look like grown-ups, it would be incredibly uncomfortable, like Lovely Bones type shit, you know. And that's how I feel about it. And then it's like it straight up is Rooflin, where all of a sudden your memories aren't the same. You're wondering what happened to you for a week. And it kind of reminded me, Sam, what you're saying, like she can't compute. I don't know if you've seen Westworld, when they see something outside of outside of the facility, they're like, that doesn't look like anything to me, because they like literally can't fucking process it. You know, they're not built to. That's kind of what kids are, if you think about it. They're fresh software that doesn't even know how to compute trauma. And then when you fuck with people's brains and then you learn that there's trauma that you don't even remember, that's just like another layer on top of that.
Yeah.
I think the essay stuff that you bring up like is very apparent in just like the language, the way they talk. And I think that's the first thing that we're always going to go to. And I think it's also just like it's tiered. Like and even Kirsh says it's layered. So like Kirsh says it's like an onion asking how to take care of a star. And I think even with like the themes in this, like it's layered as well, just like an onion. Like I do think like we've kind of done the whole thing about technology and children, and it's just like this feels very much like how companies are preying on kids to like, you are our consumers. Everything we're putting in front of you is the iPad, the game, making purchases in that game. You're now consumed by YouTube. Like and subscribe. You know, like there's just there's so many layers to it, which I think is just like I don't think they're doing it too heavy-handed. I think they are really making it integral to the story and how it messes everything up.
Well, it's also just a key theme in all horror in terms of making you uncomfortable. Like all of these things are just these very specific levels of breaking down the things that are normal, and when you skew them, it's uncomfortable. And all of that is doing a really good job of making this a show where you're at the edge of your seat for every single thing, because you're waiting to see what next crazy thing's going to happen. And all of these are very specific mechanisms in order to make good horror, good TV. I love this show.
You know, I just realized this. So there was the scene between the three soldiers, Joe and his two teammates, and he's sitting there like probing questions about like, oh, do you know how to drive a boat and shit like that? And he is obviously trying to get off the island. He wants to escape. And then his teammate turns around and is like, don't fuck this up for us. We're getting paid. Yeah, there's monsters here. Yeah, there's bad shit going on. But like, I know it's basically like she basically said the enemy I know is better than the one I don't. And that to me is another layer of like victimhood, where a lot of times victims cannot escape the situation they're in because they're so scared of the unknown and they can't get away from the monster they know. And so it's, God, I just realized that's another little layer, like you're saying, Alfredo, of this is the trap that victims fall into. Is they want to get away. They know that they should get away, but they either can't or they just don't have the capability because of all the terror in their life. So God, the writing in this show is incredible.
And I think Dame Sylvia, like, why would you name someone Dame Sylvia and she's basically a fucking madam? Like, she really is.
Right.
She's these little kids' pimp. You know, it's just like, you know, daddy's mad and, you know, like, don't let daddy hurt you. I need you to, you know, like, why'd you make us do that?
Has she and her husband never talked about what's going on there? Because they seem to be so fundamentally different in the way they look at these things.
I feel like they both started off as just curious scientists, and then there was a deviation, obviously, for both of them in terms of.
And then they just go back to their quarters and watch Love Island and like don't talk about what goes on at work.
Well, maybe they have the whole like
it's still around keep your
work and life separate thing, like Severance. They're doing a mini Severance. I don't know.
Kind of weird considering they live there, but all right.
But it's also interesting
guys,
to see the reaction.
What is the age gap? We're not talking about it. Like
yeah,
like
he
to
looks
me,
way younger.
You never discuss You never discuss a woman's age, Jagger.
Okay, I'm sorry. It's a lot of grooming
No.
going on, so I'm just have to ask.
Ooh. Oh no! What if she was his teacher? Ah,
Okay.
You guys
gross.
made it worse. You
Okay.
made it worse.
I made it worse. I'm not the one.
Noah Hawley made it worse.
Okay.
Sometimes you connect with younger people.
I bet if it was an older man and a younger woman, you guys wouldn't be saying that.
Oh God. All right, that's the show, folks. Love y'all.
Yep. Yep.
And
Yeah.
we're canceled.
Play me off, Johnny.
Wait for that comment. That person will not get the gift card. Purpose of the hybrids, I think, may have actually been revealed in this episode, which is like they kind of have tap danced around it, but they specifically say in this one, you have the potential to invent faster than light travel. And it's something Boy Cavalier has talked about, like wanting to have someone who he can have an intelligent conversation with. And obviously there's a reason they're creating these. Like is it to be super soldiers? Is it just to be, you know, good helpers in the lab? Or is it to be like the best possible AI that they could have ever made? I think the answer is yes to all of it. But it all, I think, just comes back to how can we profit? And that seems exactly what they're doing. They're trying to make more efficient missions where they don't have to cryo freeze people for 65 years and do all that.
Oh, for sure. And we had it from I don't remember the enforcer, the old enforcer guy, a couple episodes ago, where he's talking about this is the next step in transhumanism. Like we're evolving past a mortal body. We're trying to literally create immortal beings with the consciousness of humans. So that's their end goal, is to bypass the biological need for a body, for a physical body maybe, and be able to transcend into that next step where it's like you can live forever, you can do anything you put your supercomputer brain to. And so or you know, they talked about it in I think episode 1 or 2 where it's like, are we just creating immortal consumers?
I think that it's exactly what you just said. And I want to bring up what you mentioned about the enforcer in terms of what the goal is. We also learned in this episode that one of the reasons for the reset and why, you know, one of the humans finally got fired is because they need
Investors.
these hybrids up on a stage to perform some level of announcement. So that's also part of it. In a couple weeks, we need this girl waving and smiling in front of people. So there's some level of announcement to the technology to unleash this on the world of what's available to them. And I think that is a cash grab of like, we can do this, you can become immortal level of buy-in. So I definitely feel like the goal is money, because it's always the goal.
Yeah, as soon as Boy Cavalier's like, I don't need money, and then Utani drops the 20 billion, he's like, well, okay, money it is. Like, it's always going to come right back to that.
I do like it. I don't need it, but I do like it.
Just since you offered.
Yeah.
Since you offer. Yeah.
I
All
also
that
think
money.
too with the we got to get this product out. It's just what is his consumers like? We've already got a glimpse of that, which is like, you could dress up as 1700 presidents, you know. Imagine if you actually look like them. Like, this the applications to where like maybe you could just start uploading your body in like avatars. Like, what if we just start doing Fortnite for real? You know, it's just like, I'm gonna
Into a better body.
Who wouldn't
Yeah.
pay for that? That's especially in that time. Like, you're just talking about anyone just like Avatar, someone who is in a wheelchair, someone who's got a terminal illness, like older people like a Waylon who wants to keep his consciousness alive in a hybrid body. Like, this has unlimited possibilities.
Yeah.
The better question is who can afford it in this universe, because as we've seen, there's a
Don't we
huge
know?
Dress
disparity.
The people
You're
wearing the
saying?
fucking powder wigs and those guys.
Okay.
Yeah, like it.
You know what kind of freaky ass sex parties they're having?
Oh,
Can you?
no.
I have a
They'll
lot of
pay for the
questions, but I don't
genital
wanna go there.
add-ons.
No,
Oh, Jesus Christ.
back
I
in
like
the
that.
vault.
Well, because the hybrids are made without genitals, right?
I don't know.
They're Ken dolls?
Have we
That'd be weird.
discussed this?
Yeah, I
Well,
think we
I-
covered that in
yeah,
they
episode
revealed
1.
that?
Wait,
But
they talked
don't
about it.
have to go to
There's
the bathroom and they
no
don't need-
G's.
There's nothing.
There's
there?
no G's down there.
It's smooth.
They're
No,
Barbies.
There's no G's
Oh.
down there, but you make it an add-on for the rich people.
Yeah.
With
So
pleasure
it's like
sense.
USS Callister, where they're just bumping.
No, it's
smooths.
like you get Rivermine Premium, and then you can have a vagina.
Yep.
No, with a
See,
vagina.
Jag, everything is Ghost in a Shell.
Yeah, it is. It is, man. It's-
no,
it's
Ghost of the Shell
in
have
Shell,
boobs
Black
but no
Man.
vagina.
It was one set of boobs, and she has to turn invisible, guys. There's very fucking like
Why
reasonable
do,
reasons
why do
her
robots
titties
need
was out.
boobs? Why do robots need boobs?
Okay, let's shove past this, or I'm gonna lose it, Alfredo.
So next question: why do robots need? I'm just kidding. Wendy's just sitting here doing coffee talk with the xenomorph, and she's just sort of just like the whole episode with the xeno. Do we think she's actually having a conversation with it, or is it
She's
like
just
me
doing this to the xenomorph, just being super racist? It's just that's what it feels like.
Yeah, when she said her pronunciation,
Thank God that was
is
in like the
off.
40th minute of this episode.
Good Lord.
Just gonna say that.
She definitely insulted the xenomorph's mother by accident at one point.
100%. It got super pissed. He's like, "That's our
got
word."
mad.
Like it got really mad at her.
You can't
Like
say
slammed
that.
itself against the glass. Yeah.
I don't know what you're saying, but I'm gonna take him as disrespect.
Because like I know that one of the questions like, what's the conversation they're having? I think if like Wendy is like an excited child still, right? So if there was a conversation, she would immediately take that information, be like, "Oh my gosh, it just told me blah 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 blah." Now she's just. I think it's just like not to use the kid and dog thing
Kid with a
again.
puppy.
It just feels like a kid that's just like talking to the puppy, and the puppy doesn't know what the fuck the kid is saying, and the kid's being like, "Look, it likes me." She's even saying, "I think this could be a good one." Meanwhile, it's trying to kill her. Like this just seems like I don't want to say another thing of incompetence, but a naivete from a child.
I was about to say it's a naivety, like a childlike naivety, and that's like it is. It's not even a metaphor. It is.
Yeah.
I disagree.
Oh.
Okay.
Well,
Sam's
Sam's been on her Xeno Duolingo, so let's that back.
No, just in terms of like, yes, Wendy's excitable and she's running to people with information for different things. But I think this is actually the first episode we don't 100% see that. She is combating with Dame Sylvia in this episode. We haven't seen her combat with a lot of other people or even other synthetics up until this point. And I think that that's a development to me in terms of watching them all go through trying to keep secrets in different ways and learning that that's something that they can do. Something that she said of they didn't ask to be here tells me that there's a level of conversation happening about purpose, because we do know that the xenomorph is a parasite with a goal in terms of, spreading and going forth. So if the conversation even is so basic as to must infect, must go and get person, must go and lay eggs, but like whatever that is, the conversation kind of goes back to the very beginning episode where she is her little girl self and she's looking at this scorpion in a glass and having the conversation with Kirsh. Like, is it their fault that if like I'm afraid of it, I could step on it, it's going to hurt me? Well, it can hurt you. I think there's some of that conversation going back and forth to tie it back to that experience in terms of purpose, because she's also in this episode saying, well, if it's better to not be human, I'll just not be human and I can make that choice. I can level up in that way. So I do think that there is a level of intelligent conversation that we're not listening to because she's learning to keep it to herself.
Do you think she could be accidentally taking the place of a queen, and she could, while learning to communicate with the xenomorphs, learn to control them in a certain sense? Because if I'm not mistaken, the queen controls them through
I really don't
not only
want
their
that. I really don't fucking want that. Like I don't want that. I don't want Alien Fallen Kingdom where she's like, they're just like me, and opens the door. Like,
Do the
I don't.
Chris Pratt hand.
no, Blue, no.
Like I almost want her to try to do something like that, like put the hand out in front of Blue and the alien just like tongue punches right through the hand or something. It'd just be fantastic.
That's what I'm saying. Is, do you think she's going to get to the point where she thinks she's in control and then it goes horribly wrong, or do you think
Yes.
it's actually
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
I would like
I
that
think
too.
she's Sub-Xenomorph Khaleesi, where like they're gonna burn
Mother
down.
of Xenos.
She's gonna ride it into the distance and into the sunset.
Bro,
Yeah, it's like-
could you
like the
imagine?
season's
I'll
if
allow
it's
it.
Xenomorph
I'll allow
in the
it.
Yeah,
I want to
Cool.
see that. I
Yeah,
really want to
cool.
see that.
The
It just
season's
spits the
gonna-
acid on her.
yeah.
You won't take Queen, but she's gonna ride it like a cowboy into the sunset. You're good with that.
We get the
Acid
acid
doesn't
blood, but
burn
it
a
does not burn
xenomorph.
her. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, there
And
you
like
go.
it's gonna end with Prodigy burning down, and she's just naked with just like xenomorphs on her shoulder, like it's just like Game of Thrones.
Her
Oh,
brother's
God.
sitting nearby, like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and then everyone who's still alive just kneels, like, and that's how it ends. Like
That's how it ends.
slow aerial shot up and just epic music. Cut to credits. I just wrote it, guys. There it is.
No, you get the Michael Bay. You get Linkin Park.
Oh my God, Linkin Park would fit with the ending.
Let me cook.
We did it, guys. We fixed the show.
You're
All
welcome.
right. We've
Where's our
put
royalty
out all our
checks?
theories out there. We broke down the episode. I think we've now solved the show and the ending. This was a good one. Guys, don't forget, we've got the Amazon gift card giveaway here for the best theory or comment down below for YouTube or Spotify, or if you're on Apple, put that in a review for us. We're going to be back again for Peacemaker on Friday, and we're going to have this show for Alien every Wednesday here on YouTube, or if you're listening, this is going to be on Thursday mornings. Don't forget, HBO Task. Guys, Task on HBO is going to be on this YouTube channel every Monday. The streets are talking. The people are saying it's good. If you're into murder mystery, murder dirter, this is the show to get into. It's just
Murder.
perfectly macabre.
Mhm.
Well, guys, I want to thank everybody for watching or listening all the way through. For myself, for Jag, for Sam, for Cough, for the feet. We'll see you next time. Adios.
Oh my God.